Hey there everybody, Chris Renshaw here from Obsessive Comics Disorder. Got another D&D review for you guys. Now, if you paid attention to my blog over at OCDcast.com about maybe like 3 months ago-ish, you know I did a review of this bad boy, Dungeons of Dread. It's a series of modules that was done by, republished by Wizards of the Coast. This is a classic D&D first edition adventures that were just really designed to just like beat the crap out of characters and just challenge them to their fullest. And it was in this nice hardbound now collector's edition. Well, I'm not talking about that today. Today I want to talk about they came out with another reprint of some classic adventures. This time it's called Against the Slave Lords, and you can see it's in a very similar kind of style that I think is really nice. It really shows. It's a very aesthetic take on it, but yet it kind of shows its age a little bit. So you know this, you're not confusing this with some of like the 4th edition stuff. You know that, hey, this is some old-timey goodness right here. So it's for, like it says on here, Against the Slave Lords in this nice embossed or glossy print, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And what this is it's got 5 adventures in here. Danger at Dark Shelf Quarry, Slave Pits of the Undercity, Secret of the Slaver Stockade, Assault on the Area of the Slave Lords, and In the Dungeon of the Slave Lords. And these are modules A0 through A4. And what this is it's a whole set of connecting adventures. Whereas in Dungeons of Drag, these were just, you know, how many were in there? There are 4 different adventures that just don't really go together, other than that just they're really hard to do. What this is it's an ongoing chain of adventures. You start with A0, and what you do there goes to A1, which goes to A2, A3, A4. This was primarily used at GenCon as a tournament that they could do for D&D players to see which group of D&D players is the best. So what they would do is they would run people through A0 to get them the background. That'd be like kind of, I guess, a qualifying round, if you will. And then you do A1, A2 would be your semifinals, or excuse me, like your quarterfinals or whatever. A3 would be your semifinals, and A4 would be your final adventure of all the people that still remained, or which group. Because the way you run each dungeon is it's just designed to be run through. It's got everything that the DM needs to know right here in this book. All you got to do is read the adventure. It's got scoring tables at the end of each adventure so that you can give out points to whichever characters A, survive, and B, who did the best work during the course of this adventure. And that's how you would know how you would proceed upwards to the next round and going to the next adventure. Well, all the original rules are right here in this book. So if you wanted to run it just like that, you could, but the rules are also presented in a way that even if you're just a DM running it at home, you can still do it. So this is, like you can see here, you got the this is the start of A3, but over here for A2, you can see it's got the nice original artwork for the module, and you've got, let's see, you got detailed descriptions of the dungeon, things you should say to the players, things that just for the DM to know, all this sort of like handy artwork. Just a really great reprint, just like Dungeons and Dread, all the same things. So you just got all the same artwork and everything that was printed in the original. It's black and white. It's not the color version, but it's very nice in that style. It just really adds a great aesthetic to the adventure. So, and then at the back of each adventure, you've got your full maps that have details and descriptions that point back to the adventure, so you let them know. If you were actually using this to run a D&D group, it might be a little confusing because you'd have to do a bunch of page flipping back and forth because, like, here's the map, then it points to stuff back here. So, and that's a similar problem with the Dungeons of Dread, but It's one that you can easily overcome. Just draw out the map and then first, and then go back and then read some, or read, you know, there are ways around that. So, but the whole thing is just presented very well. If you're not really interested in kind of like the history of D&D, this is probably not up your alley. But if you played first edition and you're like, oh, I remember that was awesome, but I don't have any of my materials anymore, grab this. I'm sure you'll like it. If you have gotten started in later editions like I have, but yet you've always been curious about some of the first edition stuff, you may want to pick this up as well. Even me going through some of my games, it's interesting to see a full storyline in a published adventure, and seeing how they develop it, what kinds of details they give you. I'm definitely going to be needing to dive more deeper into this, because there's a lot of great stuff that I think I can learn from this, and I'm betting that a lot of you potential DMs out there would get a kick out of it as well. I believe it retails for $45. So thanks, Wizards of the Coast, for sending me a review copy of this. I really enjoy it, and I can't wait to get into it a little bit more. But if, like I said, if this sorts of thing interest you at all, I definitely recommend you pick this up. It's Against the Slave Lords by Wizards of the Coast. Thank you guys very much for listening to this review. Have you got this book? Did you play original D&D? If so, leave a comment below. Let me know all about it. I really want to hear about your stories. In the meantime, you can also send me comments and feedback. Chris at OCDcast.com. You can also follow me on Facebook and Twitter, facebook.com/obsessivecomicsdisorder, twitter.com/ChrisTheProf. And for this and all the other information, make sure you visit the website again over at OCDcast.com. Till next time, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you later.